Hello everyone. Welcome back. Today, we've got some crucial news you don't want to miss. Let's dive right into the top financial headlines and break down what's happening. As promised yesterday, Germany just released its December inflation numbers, and the results were a shocker for global markets. The country's overall CPI rose 2.9% compared to the same time last year. That number caught everyone off guard. Before the release, forecasts from German investment banks and Wall Street had inflation pegged at around 2.3% to 2.6%, with the highest estimate being 2.6%. But the actual 2.9% figure, nearing 3%, blew past expectations and sent ripples through the financial world. Germany's position as Europe's largest economy makes this a big deal. People are scrambling to understand why inflation surged so much. Back in November, Germany's inflation rate was 2.4%, so the jump to 2.9% in just a month is significant. After the data came out, short-term German government bond yields spiked, with two-year yields climbing to 2.2%. On top of that, Spain also reported its December inflation numbers today. Their CPI hit 2.8%, which was also higher than expected. The combined impact of these two reports has left the markets questioning whether they've completely misread the situation, not just in Europe, but globally. Until now, the prevailing narrative was that Europe's economy is teetering on the edge of recession, with sluggish growth and falling consumer demand. Logic suggested that inflation would cool off. But the unexpected surge in December inflation for Germany and Spain is throwing a wrench into that story. Major financial outlets are scrambling to make sense of it. As of now, there's no clear consensus on why inflation spiked so sharply, and there hasn't even been enough time to dig into the underlying causes. Tomorrow, when the Eurozone releases its December inflation data, things could get even more interesting. If that number also comes in way above expectations, we might see some serious shifts in how the markets view 2025's global economic outlook. Right now, the markets are in a wait-and-see mode, trying to process the shock. But one thing's clear: Germany, Spain, and the EU need to figure out what's driving this inflation spike. Once they provide some clarity, the market should settle down, but until then, uncertainty will rule the day. Next, here's today's top story that's making waves internationally. As reported by Bloomberg, Justin Trudeau, Canada's Prime Minister for 9 years, has officially announced his resignation as leader of the Liberal Party. Let's break it down. Trudeau, 53, who's been the longest-serving G7 leader, made the announcement on Monday. He's stepping down as the Liberal Party's leader but will stay on as Prime Minister until his party selects a new leader. With Parliament on break until March 24th, the Liberal leadership race is now underway. Whoever wins will become Canada's 24th Prime Minister. The next general election is scheduled for October this year, but it could happen sooner if things get turbulent. Here's the catch: all three opposition parties have backed a motion of no confidence in the government. Even if the Liberals pick a successor and Trudeau hands over the reins, a no-confidence vote could force the government to dissolve, triggering an early election. Bloomberg also gave a bit of context on Trudeau's background. He's the son of Pierre Trudeau, a former Canadian Prime Minister. Fun fact: Justin was born at the Prime Minister's residence while his dad was in office. Justin took over as Liberal Party leader in 2013, and by October 2015, he'd led the party from third place to victory, becoming Canada's second youngest Prime Minister. But his 9 years in office? Let's just say the reviews aren't glowing. Bloomberg pointed out that his tenure was marked by soaring deficits. And now, the opposition Conservative Party, led by 45-year-old Pierre Poilievre, seems poised to take the lead in the upcoming election. Poilievre has been gaining momentum and looks like a strong contender for Canada's top job. International media has also chimed in. For example, Barron's had an interesting take on what led to Trudeau's resignation. They highlighted several factors, but top of the list? Trump's tariff threats. While they noted Trudeau's domestic struggle started even before Trump's election, they believe the recent tariff dispute with Trump was the final straw. Meanwhile, The Economist took a different angle, claiming Trudeau's departure leaves behind a fractured Liberal Party and a divided Canada. No matter how you slice it, most commentary agrees that Trudeau's resignation was inevitable, a water under the bridge moment. And whether you're looking at left-leaning or right-leaning outlets, the consensus on Trudeau's 9 years in power is far from favorable. It seems like his time at the helm has left Canada with more questions than answers. Here's another major story from today, shaking up the international financial world. Let's talk about Trump's tariff policy. Is making headlines again. Bloomberg reported that Trump declared he won't back down on tariffs, even after a recent Washington Post article sent shockwaves through global currency markets. Let's break it all down. What sparked the drama? It all started with an exclusive from the Washington Post. Their report caused the US dollar index to take a nosedive, dropping almost 1%, its sharpest fall since November. As a result, other major currencies, including the Chinese yuan, strengthened against the dollar. While Chinese media credited the yuan's rebound to government efforts to stabilize the currency, the truth is this market reaction was all about the Washington Post's scoop. What did the report say? According to 3 anonymous sources familiar with the discussions, Trump's team is supposedly considering a scaled-back tariff plan. The idea? A targeted tariff on specific key imports, applied to all countries, at a much lower rate, just 10 to 20%. That's a massive shift from Trump's campaign promises of widespread, hefty tariffs. Since tariffs have been a cornerstone of Trump's economic platform and a recurring theme in his campaign, this potential U-turn came as a shock to many. Markets believed the report right away, causing the dollar to tumble, the euro to gain 1% against it, and even giving the yuan a bump. Trump's response. By Monday morning, US time, Trump was in damage control mode. He took to his social media platform, Truth Social, to call out the Washington Post, saying their story relied on non-existent anonymous sources, and falsely claimed he was backing off on tariffs. That's not true, he insisted. But here's the thing, markets didn't fully buy his denial. The dollar index didn't recover, signaling lingering uncertainty. It's as if investors are waiting for clearer signals from Trump's team on what his tariff policy will actually look like. What's really going on? Here's my take: where there's smoke, there's fire. Trump's denial was unusually tame for him. Normally, he'd lash out, calling the Washington Post fake news or worse. But this time, he stuck to the issue, which feels out of character. Could it mean the report wasn't entirely off base? Maybe the Post exaggerated some points or left out others, but it seems unlikely they made it all up. Market skepticism also makes sense. Wall Street has long doubted that Trump would follow through on his extreme tariff promises, especially against China. For example, nobody seriously thinks he'll slap a 60% tariff on Chinese imports right away, especially after Elon Musk publicly criticized the idea. The general consensus is that Trump would roll out tariffs gradually, and this Washington Post report seems to align with those expectations. What's next? For now, the markets are in wait-and-see mode. Trump's denial didn't settle the matter, so everyone's watching for further clarifications from his camp. With his inauguration just around the corner, there's not much time left to speculate. What's clear is that his tariff plan, a central part of his campaign, is still a big question mark. Bottom line, this story isn't over. Expect more updates in the coming days as the dust settles and Trump's team lays out their next moves. Stay tuned. Finally, Elon Musk is at the center of a growing feud with the UK political scene, and things are getting messy. It started with Musk's vocal support for the UK's Conservative Party and sharp criticism of the ruling Labour Party. But the situation escalated when Musk backed British right-wing activist Tommy Robinson, even calling for his release from prison. The controversy over child abuse scandals. This week, the tension hit a new high as Musk focused his attention on a major child abuse scandal in the UK. Over just 24 hours, Musk posted and reposted more than 40 times on X, formerly Twitter, about the horrific abuse of young girls in Rotherham, a town in South Yorkshire. Given his massive following, Musk's post sparked a firestorm of debate online. The scandal Musk referenced dates back to a 2014 report that revealed at least 1,400 children, mostly girls, had been sexually abused between 1997 and 2013. The perpetrators were predominantly of Pakistani descent, and authorities were accused of turning a blind eye due to fears of being labeled culturally insensitive. This shocking failure by local institutions and the government has been called one of the UK's darkest moments. Musk, however, took it further. He claimed that hundreds of thousands of British girls had been raped or murdered by gangs, a figure far beyond the scope of the original report. It's unclear if Musk is basing this on new evidence or simply exaggerating for effect, but his posts have reignited fierce public outrage and endless debates. Musk's real motives? Bloomberg suggests Musk's sudden dive into a decade-old scandal may not be random. Analysts believe he's using this issue to back Britain's right-wing agenda, push for stricter immigration policies, and take aim at Prime Minister Keir Starmer, the Labour Party leader. Musk's attacks on Starmer aren't just general criticism, they're personal. Before entering politics, Starmer was the Director of Public Prosecutions. During his tenure, his office decided not to prosecute certain individuals linked to child grooming gangs, a decision that was later overturned, leading to 9 convictions. Musk has latched onto this, accusing Starmer of being complicit in enabling abuse. Starmer has defended himself, pointing out that he later reversed those initial decisions and led the charge in prosecuting the offenders. But Musk's relentless focus on this topic has put Starmer, and the entire Labour Party, on the defensive. Fallout and political backlash. Unsurprisingly, Musk's comments have caused a stir in British politics. Prime Minister Starmer officially condemned Musk's attacks, calling them unacceptable, and accusing him of spreading lies and misinformation. Starmer also warned that Musk's actions could harm the critical UK-US relationship, which has long been a cornerstone of Western diplomacy. Musk didn't stop at Starmer. He also targeted British Home Secretary Jess Phillips, accusing her of defending rapists and covering up crimes, a claim she has strongly denied. What's next? The situation is getting increasingly complicated. Both Labour and the Conservative Party are reportedly reaching out to former President Trump's team, trying to figure out if Musk's actions are purely his own or if there's coordination with Trump. The fear is that Musk's attacks could disrupt the historically strong US-UK alliance. As of now, the standoff shows no signs of cooling down. All eyes are on Trump. If and when he weighs in, it could escalate things even further. For now, Musk seems determined to keep stirring the pot, and the UK's political establishment isn't happy about it. That's all for today. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more updates. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.